welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Kiki.
And today we're looking at part 2 of Making the Grade. So in part 1, we were reading about some ways that students in Asia, in many Asian countries, deal with the difficult tests they have. And they do some interesting things to prepare and try to influence the outcome of their tests.
So they're kind of like superstitions, right? So we learned that in South Korea and the Philippines, students wouldn't wash their hair the day before a test because they believe that the hair contains all the knowledge that they have learned. So if they wash their hair, they'll wash the knowledge away. And also in some countries, they wouldn't eat eggs.
Yeah, in some Asian countries they don't eat eggs because the eggs look like zeros and you don't want zeros on your test, but don't you actually want you want 2 zeros. You want a 1 and 2 zeros, you get 100. But anyway, so they also, in South Korea and Vietnam, students will avoid slippery food like seaweed because that can make your knowledge slide away from you.
So what other kinds of superstitions do we have in Taiwan?
So I know in Taiwan, one common superstition is for when you're using any kind of technology or any kind of machine, you can keep it working by putting a package of guai guai.
The cookies?
Guai guai cookies, guai guai chips or crisps on top of the thing, but it must be the green package, because that's the only one that works.
And because green means go and green means okay, so that's why it has to be green.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So don't put the red one on or it might cause your machine to stop.
Yeah. All right, so let's find out what other types of things students around Asia do to help them make the grade.
While there are certain foods to avoid, other foods are believed to give students an edge. In many places in Asia, nuts are eaten to increase brain function. In Hong Kong, for example, cashews are a must before an exam because the local word for them sounds like the term for a wish to pass. Meanwhile, the koala has caught the eye of people in Japan as a possible source of luck. The animal is capable of hugging a tree for more than 20 hours straight. Some see this as the level of dedication that a student needs to succeed. Since it's not possible to give the animal itself as a gift, family and friends may give test takers koala poop instead.
Welcome back to part 2 of Making the Grade. While there are certain foods to avoid, other foods are believed to give students an edge. In many places in Asia, nuts are eaten to increase brain function.
So eating foods that actually help you with your memory, help you study better. In Hong Kong, for example, cashews are a must before an exam because the local word for them sounds like the term for a wish to pass.
Oh, very interesting.
So the word cashew in Cantonese means for you to pass or wishing you.
Sounds like
a
wish to.
Asking you to wish to pass. All right. So meanwhile, the koala has caught the eye of people in Japan as a possible source of luck.
Okay. So we have the adverb here, meanwhile. Meanwhile meaning at the same time as something else is happening. So at the same time as students in Hong Kong are eating cashews, people in Japan believe that the koala is a source of luck. So for example, she took a break to use the bathroom and meanwhile, he went to get a cup of coffee. So at the same time as she was using the bathroom, he got a cup of coffee. So back to the koala. The animal is capable of hugging a tree for more than 20 hours straight.
Wow, that's a really long time to hold on to something, 20 hours. So I would say that's pretty good luck. So here we have the vocabulary word capable, and it is an adjective. It is to have the ability to achieve a specific thing or to do something efficiently or smoothly. So the koala is able to hold on to a tree for X amount of hours. Now, an example sentence would be, with her knowledge and experience, she is capable of handling complex projects. So because of her experience and knowledge, she is able to do these very complex things.
Okay. And so the koala is capable of hugging a tree for 20 hours. So it hugs. So hug is a verb meaning to squeeze tightly using your arms. In this kind of way, to squeeze is to hug, and it's often used by people as a sign of affection to show that you care for someone. So for example, the child ran into his mother's arms and hugged her tightly. So in the case of the koalas, I don't think it's a sign of affection. I don't think they really love the tree, but it is just a way to hold on to the tree is by hugging it. So continuing with our article, some see this as the level of dedication that a student needs to succeed. Since it's not possible to give the animal itself as a gift, family and friends may give test takers koala poop instead.
Koala poop? Where are they going to get all this koala poop?
So I guess it's an unexpected business that must be present in Japan, is that someone needs to sell koala poop.
Right, because they don't have a lot of koalas outside of Australia because they're not supposed to leave Australia.
Right, the koalas are actually an endangered species. There's not that many of them in the wild, so that's of course why you can't give koalas to someone as a gift. But I am curious about this, why you would choose to give poop, because I would think first maybe you would give a stuffed koala to someone, maybe a koala toy, or maybe if you had to give an actual something from a koala, maybe some koala fur or maybe something else. But koala poop, it's a strange gift, and I don't know if I'd like to get that even before a test.
I really want to know where they're going to get all this koala poop.
Anyway, well, I hope we can find out some maybe less stinky ways to get ready for your test after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。考生们可能会避免吃某一些食物，以免影响到自己的考运。不过有些食物则被认为是可以带来优势的。在亚洲许多地方，人们会吃坚果来增强大脑功能。那像在香港，他们考前一定要吃腰果，因为腰果在当地的发音听起来就是要过，考试要过这样。好，那与此同时呢，日本人则是把无尾熊视为幸运的来源，这种动物能够持续抱树超过20个小时。有些人就认为这就是学生成功所需要的投入程度。由于不可能把无尾熊抓来直接当礼物嘛，那么亲友就会改送无尾熊便便给考生，这不会很臭吗？那我们来补充一下 stinky 这个形容词 S-T-I-N-K-Y stinky 就可以形容是发出恶臭的、有臭味的。好，再看到课文单字 meanwhile 它是副词，表示与此同时，在此期间。那么 capable 它是形容有什么能力的，或者是胜任的，我们就可以用 be capable of 加名词或动名词来表达有能力做某事，能够怎么样的。再看到 hug 在这边当动词，表示抱住、拥抱或是抱紧。好，接着回到课文中。
Of course, prayer is one of the most common ways to request aid, but not just any higher power will do. In Singapore, one must pray to the bell curve god to not only do well, but also perform better than others. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and to gain an advantage over the competition, these are just some of the great lengths that students will go to.
Welcome back. So before the break, we learned some more interesting ways that students in Asia prepare for tests. So let's learn some more. Of course, prayer is one of the most common ways to request aid. But not just any higher power will do. So we have a word in there which is to request. Request is to formally or politely ask for something. So you're not just casually asking, but it's more of a big ask, more of something like to request from a God in prayer. You're not just saying, hey, God, give me good grades, but you're requesting, you're saying it in a nice, polite way. So for example, she requested a big favor from her friend.
In Singapore, one must pray to the bell curve God to not only do well, but also perform better than others. Now, we have to talk a little bit about the bell curve God here, because the bell curve God is not actually a real God. What's the bell curve?
So a bell curve is a grading system used in some places, and it's a system where the highest scoring student on a test might just be given 100%. That's considered the perfect score. And the rest of the students' scores are all relative to that score. So it means that your grade depends somewhat on how the rest of your classmates do on the test.
So in this case, in Singapore, all these students, they're praying to the bell curve God because they hope that them and their classmates together, they can have kind of like a good score to help make this bell curve.
Right. You might hope that the top grade isn't too far away from yours, or else that will not be good for you.
It's a dog-eat-dog world. And to gain an advantage over the competition, these are just some of the great lengths that students will go to.
Okay. So they mentioned in there the phrase dog-eat-dog world. So this expression means that everyone is trying to do the best they can for themselves, and it might not matter how much others do. So you really would care most about yourself, and even if that hurts others, it's a dog-eat-dog world, so it just means that you should care most about yourself because that's the way the world is.
And here we have another one of our vocabulary words, which is advantage, and it is a noun. It's a situation that puts someone or something in a favorable position, or to have an opportunity to gain something. So somebody is at a possibly higher position than somebody else. For example, having good listening skills can give you an advantage in job interviews. So having an advantage in something is to allow you to do something better in certain situations, or even be better at something compared to somebody else.
That's right. Okay, so we do have a what do you think question. So Kiki, what do you think? Have you ever heard of or practiced any unusual customs or beliefs related to test taking in your culture?
I personally have not practiced any customs, or I'm not really superstitious myself. But I do have a friend, and her name starts with J.
Okay.
And she told me that she would go to the Confucius temple and pray. But I think that way she's praying because she wants to be less confused.
So praying at the Confucius temple will help her to be less confused.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a good way to do it.
What about you?
Well, I haven't never done anything like that to prepare for a test, but I know that some people like to bring something lucky with them. So one kind of odd lucky object that people have is a lucky rabbit's foot.
Right.
So it's actually the foot of a rabbit that's usually on a keychain, so you can keep it on your keys so you don't lose it. And that's supposed to bring you good luck. And I don't really know why having a piece of a dead animal would give you good luck, but there you go.
Well, we've certainly learned a lot of different customs to help students get better grades in this article. So that's it from us today. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
祈祷是请求援助最常见的方式之一。那像我们可能就会去拜文昌帝君嘛。那么在新加坡，学生会向 Bell Curve God 中型曲线神来祈祷。中型曲线代表的是成绩分布的状况，那学生就把这个中型曲线把它形象化，当作神来拜，祈求说不但要考好，然后呢也要表现得比别人好。好，课文最后写到说，这是一个竞争激烈的世界，为了在竞争当中取得优势，这些只是学生们会不遗余力去做的一些事而已。那么同学们，你也有自己祈求考运亨通的做法吗？还是你觉得这是迷信呢？可以跟身边的人讨论看看哦。我们来补充一下迷信的英文 superstitious 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 是形容迷信的。文中用到 dog eat dog 这个复合形容词，字面意思是狗咬狗的，那就是比喻说为了成功而损人利己的，或是竞争激烈的。好，那么单字 request 在这边当动词，表示要求、请求。advantage 则是指优势、有利因素。好，这边两个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 not only but also 表示不但怎么样，而且怎么样。那必须连接词性相同的字词，连接动词的时候，时态必须一致哦。我们看两个例句。The artist is not only talented but also creative. 那位艺术家不但有才华，而且又有创意。He not only paints but also writes poems. 他不但会画画，还会写诗。那第二重点是 go to great lengths 或是 go to extreme lengths， 这表示竭尽全力，不遗余力，千方百计。那么 lengths 在这边是指某事进行的程度，当这意思解释时常用复数形。那我们还可以在这个片语后面来接 to 加原形动词，去表达竭尽全力去做某事。例如 They went to great lengths to provide their children with a good education. 他们竭尽全力为孩子们提供良好的教育。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
While there are certain foods to avoid, other foods are believed to give students an edge. In many places in Asia, nuts are eaten to increase brain function.In Hong Kong, for example, cashews are a must before an exam because the local word for them sounds like the term for a wish to pass. Meanwhile, the koala has caught the eye of people in Japan as a possible source of luck. The animal is capable of hugging a tree for more than 20 hours straight. Some see this as the level of dedication that a student needs to succeed. Since it's not possible to give the animal itself as a gift,Family and friends may give test takers koala poop instead. Of course, prayer is one of the most common ways to request aid, but not just any higher power will do. In Singapore, one must pray to the bell curve god to not only do well, but also perform better than others. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and to gain an advantage over the competition, these are just some of the great lengths that students will go
to.Hello, I'm Kiki. I'm Carolyn.
I'm Josh.
And today we are going to play a game called Guess the Bear. I have two cards in my hand, and each card has two sentences where a word or a phrase has been replaced by the word bear, and you guys, my contestants, have to guess the correct answer. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
I hope so. All right. Let's begin. The first word is an adjective. The first sentence is, don't be bare and clean up your room. The second sentence, the dog is very bare. It won't even chase cats.
Shy.
No, good try.
Lazy.
Very good, Carolyn. That's 1 point for Carolyn. All right, so the correct word is lazy. The first sentence is, don't be lazy and clean up your room. The second sentence is, the dog is very lazy. It won't even chase cats. All right, are you guys ready? Josh, are you ready for the second sentence? All right? Okay, let's go. So the second one is a phrase with two words. The first sentence is, James arrived just bare to catch the train. The second sentence, I couldn't finish my homework bare.
In time.
Very good, Josh. You guys are tied. Okay, so the phrase is in time. The first sentence, James arrived just in time to catch the train. The second sentence, I couldn't finish my homework in time. So you guys are tied. How did you know that it was in time?
Well, it was either going to be on time or in time, and yeah, good thing I chose in time first.
And usually when we speak, we will just say, oh, I can't do something in time, or I'm going to show up on time, or I'm going to do something just in time, right? Okay. And for the first one, Carolyn, how did you get lazy?
I think I knew it from the first sentence.
Okay, don't be lazy and clean up your room.
Something I've heard before.
Yeah, does your mom or dad say that a lot?
Maybe a few times.
Are you lazy? Do you like to clean up your room, Josh?
Oh, I love it.
Well, these were two great sentences, and I'm glad you guys both got a point each.